Quickly, Angela Weston, would you stand right there to the mic, introduce yourself and who you, any organization that you might be representing. Thank you for being here this morning, addressing the committee.
Thank you. My name is Angela Weston, and I'm the co-founder of the Georgia Medical Cannabis Society. Pardon me, I'll repeat that. My name is Angela Weston, and I am currently the co-founder of the Georgia Medical Cannabis Society. And my reasoning for being here today is to just about also say that the amendments that the committee has received did come from our action team from our organization. And we are looking at some areas of this particular bill that we do not support, specifically looking at the packaging portion of it. Well, I do understand and am an advocate of making sure that children are safe and that the package is safe. Also understanding that, looking at it from the medication standpoint of it, that even a child-resistant cap on prescription drugs, children can get into those too. So not just looking at it from an industry standpoint and placing all of that on the cannabis industry or the hemp industry and the packaging. Parental guidance is also needed with that. So there's a lot of education that needs to take place surrounding this and making sure that parents are responsible, guardians are responsible, adults are responsible to not keep those items in the reach of children so that they do not get them. So I do appreciate you taking the time to look at the amendments that we did send over and take those into consideration, because some of these marketing pieces that are in there, when we're talking about some of the novel shapes and things of that's in the section 1, line 17 through 20, we definitely do not want to make these packages attractive like a Skittles or a Now and Later or whatever it is, but we do want to allow that the manufacturers are able to use their creative abilities to market their products so it doesn't look like someone else's product, not taking away their creativity in that area to market, but also make sure that it is not appealing to children. So there are definitely different ways that you can go about doing that. So also another piece of that we're talking about in there was the language surrounding the Delta-9 concentration and the decarboxylation. Just making sure that we understand what actually happens when it is decarbed and the THC that's actually in it. So making sure that process that you utilize for that they do not necessitate the conversion of the cannabinoids through the decarboxylation. So taking a look at that part of the amendment, we would appreciate if you could consider that as well. Another portion of that is in section 5, lines 133 through 136, and the consumable hemp product should be sold otherwise distributed in the state unless it's product and packaging container. Looking at those consumable products and making sure that it's packaged appropriately to ensure safety and compliance. We would like that language to be looked at as well, according to what we've actually sent in the amendment. And the last portion of it that we're looking at was section 9, line 187 through 188. In the original, in the constellation of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, GBI, was taken out, and we're asking that not be amended and allow the GBI to stay in there, and it should remain a part of the process to ensure the proper checks and balances. And finally, I do want to say that yes, I am an advocate of medical cannabis. I am a medical cannabis patient, and I've also spent a lot of time and money studying cannabis. I do have a master's in medical cannabis science and therapeutics, so this is really and very important to me in educating patients, educating providers, and helping the public to understand how cannabis is truly medicine and that it is much needed, and to also protect the CBD stores and the manufacturers who were out there who were helping us, specifically in the state of Georgia when we all had our medical cannabis cards and did not have a place to go. Those dispensaries, as we call them, because if you look at the definition of a dispensary, they were there to help us and protect us and give us the medication that we need prior to having those dispensaries, as well as they offer other cannabinoids, because cannabidiol and tetrahydrocannabinol, which is THC and CBD, are not the only cannabinoids that are out there. There's the CBG and the CBN, which I do use all of those as well. And so those particular entities provide those other cannabinoids that we need. So we do need the whole plant, and The dispensaries at this moment do not carry those, and some of those are actually missing. So I would like to make sure that it's understood that we are standing in the gap of those organizations as an organization to make sure that they are protected and are still there for us who are medical cannabis patients, as well as those who have conditions that are not on the list, but cannabis does help them. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those comments. Appreciate it. Chairman Corbett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question, I guess, speaks to the author of the bill. Are we addressing medical cannabis in this bill, to your knowledge?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have one other speaker, Chris Brown. Is he here? There you go. If you can come back and address the committee.
Good morning, committee. As the previous speaker spoke, there are some issues that we do have with this bill, very most specifically that we're talking about packaging and the attractiveness to kids. The packaging, in terms of CBD, did we know that CBD actually reverses the effect of THC? So if a person had a psychotic episode, they could actually use CBD to reverse the psychotic effects of it. So are we really talking about CBD, or are we talking about the language of low THC or the THC program? We do have some concerns about some of the language that's also been inclusive in the low THC program, as we talk about line 149 and 159, as it talks about the limits of 1,000 feet from any educational institution, public or private. That language is also inclusive of the low THC program. And so, as the previous speaker spoke about, that these institutions have been in place prior to the establishment of the program here in Georgia, and has been a dispensary of more than just CBD. We have holistic petitioners that also petition in our communities for faith-based and religious purposes that also operates dispensaries of selling medicinal herbs. And so we have not taken that into consideration, not only in the low THC program, but neither in the CBD or in this legislation. The restrictions on advertisement, I do agree that it can become attractive for kids to consume these products, as many other attractive designs and bags and packaging. But as testimony gave from other members in this building, they could identify what was in the packaging by the label of its contents, which talked about the 3,000 milligrams and the various other dosing amounts that was in the packaging. So I think there's a greater need for education. In 2019, I wrote a letter to the Senate addressing these concerns about this green leafy substance that both look like the same. They smell the same because they contain terpenes. When you burn them, they smell the same. They could smell the same as well. So being able to identify these products in this legislation does not address a number of things that we have concerning low THC and the CBD. We can have a comprehensive program where we do more research and development as identified in the 2018 Farm Bill, and Georgia actually being a leader in this space by identifying revenue opportunities as well as expanding our medicinal values, and as well as infuse education opportunities by increasing enrollment in our educational institutions, as other institutions have done across the country. So as we go through this bill, again, that there are some concerns that does align with low THC oil. I do think that there are some conditions that for low THC, hemp is low THC by definition. You know what I mean? Because it has a restriction of the amount federally prohibits it from going over 0.3%. Are we really talking about the kids? I think we used the kids in the beginning to get the low THC program into play. So I don't want us to misuse or mischaracterize what's going on in Georgia with our program, but we have an innovative opportunity to involve the community and these stakeholders who have not been a part of the process. We have not identified the impact in which these bills would impact not only business owners, but the consumers. So I think that as we work with the Agriculture Department, there's a grand opportunity as we look through this legislation. I just want to yield and say thank you for just even considering these bills and addressing some of the issues. But the biggest piece is education and partnering with our communities and in investments in the program. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for those comments. Those are all the speakers from the audience that have signed up to speak to the bill. I just want to say again, I really appreciate Commissioner's personal involvement with these bills coming and his attention in his department Catherine Russell has spent a lot of time, as well as he pointed out, on these, working with our authors of the bill, legislature, and I think we'll have, if these bills get through and made into law, I think we'll have a great program going forward to finally address the things that we need to be looking at. So thank you, Commissioner, for that. Any other questions or comments from the committee? Hearing none, it's posture to take a motion. I got a motion to do pass. Second. Any other comments? I ask the committee, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, unanimous. Thank you very much. LC 550240, HB 1322. On the rules.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you very much.
Appreciate it.
I know some of you might have somewhere else to go. Representative Meeks has got a House resolution. I thought you could do it from there if you want to get in front of the committee. We've got several other resolutions that we'll hear after crossover. And so just wanted to get this on your radar this morning. Chairman Meeks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. House Resolution 1166 creates a study committee to take a look at warehouse bonding and surety bonds of warehouses across our state. Many of you who are involved in agriculture on a day-to-day basis, particularly in the fruit and vegetable world, warehouses and brokers are bonded. The department has seen an uptick in the number of bonds that are called, and frequently the value of the bond does not cover the cost of the goods cost that is owed to the growers. It's a complicated issue, but it's one that we need to start the conversation on, Mr. Chairman, and take a look at how can we work to resolve the issues and better protect the growers in our state. So it creates a study committee to take a look at the issue, and I'll yield to the commissioner if he has any comments regarding the study committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank Representative Meeks for carrying this study committee. I think this is a very important for us to take a deep dive in as members of the legislature, working with our department over the off season. As Representative Meeks and Chairman Meeks mentioned, we at the department have been seeing an uptick of calls on the bonds, and in some cases 3 and 4 times what the bond is worth is what has been called. So in other words, a $300,000 bond, and we have an outlay of over $1 million in what's owed to the farmer. And so when you have that problem, that means that they're never going to be made whole. And so we can use this opportunity to look at what other states have done, and there's some pretty innovative things that other states have done to address this for agriculture in their state, fruit and vegetables, grain, etc. But it's definitely we've seen an issue. We definitely think we need to look at our bonding laws and our warehouse laws and ensure that we're doing everything we can to allow our ag businesses to be successful and thrive, but also protect our farmers and producers at the same time. So I think the study committee will give us an opportunity to do that, and I would urge your favorable consideration to the committee and to you, Mr. Chairman. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think yeah, good bill. We'll talk about it again after our next committee meeting, which should be a week from today. I think after crossover, and we've got that, a couple other issues. I'll also put on your radar, if any of you, we need an ex officio appointed to Commodity Commission overall. Could you?
Yes, sir. The Ag Commodity Commission ex officio committee, which is made up of myself, President Tom McCall, the President of Georgia Farm Bureau, and then 2 appointees, one by the House Ag Committee, one by the Senate Ag Committee. And I know we can circle up on that, but we definitely need to get that done before session's over with, Mr. Chairman, for the House Ag Committee's appointment to that particular ex officio committee.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Someone that has some experience serving on commodity